After watching this Tailwind CSS tutorial course, you will be able to build this type of modern UI using Tailwind CSS. So I have designed a course for you as a beginner friendly. So I broken down this course into 7 sections. Each section you can navigate throughout our video description. The part you want to master, just go get it, and the part you don't like, skip it. So I put the timeline on description. So let's get started. This is the course roadmap. So first section has 2 chapters. So the first chapter is understanding Tailwind CSS. So we will walk through a little bit theory, what Tailwind is. And then chapter 2 is we are going to set up our Tailwind configuration so we can work with React. And then the section 2 is utility class and core styling. So we have 4 chapters inside this section. The third one is spacing and sizing. It's very important. And then colors and background, typography, borders and shadow. And if you look at the borders and shadow, now you can feel it, right? And yeah, this is the border, this is the gradients. So this is the section 2. And we have section 3, layout and responsive. It is very important. Why? Because if you look at this UI, and now this it becomes responsive for mobile version, right? And that's why we need flexbox, grid system, positioning and display, and then responsive design. This is the section 3. Then we have interactivity and state styles. That is, if you look at here, this is the interactivity, right? And now this is the style. Now when I click on it, now it's become hover state, right? So that's we need this section 4. And we have pseudo-class and variant, and we have animation and transition. Then our section 5 is customizing and theming. So where you can understand how we can customize our font, our theme, our variable. And then the chapter 14 is dark mode, where we handle, so yeah, where we handle how you can switch from the white theme to dark theme. And then section 6 is where you learned how to build UI, modern UI. And then section 7, you also work with a project, and then we deploy that project in Vercel. So this is our course, and the part you want to master, just go and get from description. So the timeline is out there. Just click and master that particular part. Let's understand chapter 1. What is Tailwind CSS? So I just open the docs from Canva. So I just walk through a line. That's it. That is, what's Tailwind CSS? Tailwind CSS is utility fast CSS framework, which means a single purpose CSS class. One class, one job. That is utility fast approach. And that is all about Tailwind CSS. And it's not a traditional CSS, it's a Tailwind CSS, right? So let's go to the Tailwind doc. And this is the Tailwind website. You can search tailwind.com or tailwindcs.com, and then you can see the doc. Click on it and just make sure you pick this version 4.1. This is the latest version. And we oftenly we take this document reference, right? And every class we will definitely talk about one by one. All right, so let's create our project. That is our second part, right? So yeah, this is the first part, just Tailwind. So I'm not gonna explain very details, like rather than I will focus on hands-on stuff, because it's a design part. The more we style, the better understanding we get, right? So that is my approach, and by doing we can learn more. So let's create our project. So this is a React, so just copy, and then I'm using the VS Code, whatever text editor ID you like, just use and create. So I'm inside codes, and then let's paste that is, and then name Tailwind. Tailwind, and now it takes few seconds. And then choose React, choose JavaScript, no, yes, and now it takes a few seconds more. So just copy these things. Now the project is installed, but I'm not gonna, if you want to see, just this is the React project, I think you guys know. And let's kill the project and go to Tailwind, and then paste this comment, and now it process to install the Tailwind packages. So we have package.json, and then we have to also copy the feed configuration for Tailwind CSS, and now the package has been installed. If you look at, this is the Tailwind CSS, and if you look at the version 4.1, that is correct. And then just remove and paste, and also we have to import the global import Tailwind CSS, and inside source folder we have app.js. Just remove all the stuff, and we have to put this import into React main dot, and then clear all the CSS and paste this one. No. Okay, let's copy again. And now if you check the and class bg, and now I got suggestion. Why? So you have to install a extension, that is, we have this extension called Tailwind. We call Tailwind CSS IntelliSense, right? Just you search on this extension marketplace, and you can get it. Now if you see 12 million download is there, so I already download, that's why I'm just getting this suggestion, right? And let's check, and so we have to run again, npm run dev. Now guys, see the Tailwind configuration has been done and established. So you can see now the background is orange, right? All right, everyone. So we complete our section 1. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just use a symbol. So we can use a symbol, and it's complete. Now let's deal with the section 2, where you have 4 chapter. First, I'm gonna deal with spacing and sizing. So let's understand first a little bit theory. So because we have to understand the box model. So what is the box model? It's basically element, every element on a web page. It could be div, button, paragraph. These are treated like a box in CSS. And we have 4 layers. The one is content, padding, then border, then margin. So let's visualize it. So guys, this is the basic, so this is the content, right? This is the content, and then padding. So padding create a room between an outside of content, and then border, and then margin. Margin create a space between 2 element. It could be div, it could be paragraph, right? So this is just a very basic visualization. And so this is just padding, border, and margin, right? So go to the Tailwind doc. So here you have all the classes. Okay, so we are dealing with sizing, right? Sizing and spacing. So let's understand first padding and margin. Right, this is the padding, and so Tailwind says utility for controlling on elements padding. This is a padding, and we have P and then number. We have px, which means horizontal padding. Then you can put a customized value, right? This is a property, this is a value, and same things for, we have all the classes. And yeah, when you work on project, just you go here, just you come here and check that. And so we have the demonstration. So padding 8 means when you put p, that means you represent the four side. And let's say padding top, padding right, padding bottom, padding left, right? And this is the horizontal padding. So if you put px, so you refer to both side. And if you put py, you refer to the top and bottom. And this is just you change the direction, right? So dir, which means you change the direction. So if you want, you can, right? So now let's code a bit to understand this padding. So this is our app. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just create a mini let's create section 2. I call section 2, and then the first layout we call part 1. Part 1, then jx. So rfc, and then I just import here. So here you can understand part 1 import. Oh, now here you go. So let's say if you put class, okay, sorry, you have to put, so let's zoom a little bit. Now I think so. This is the class name, and then let's create some background, otherwise we cannot see. So the amber 30, and then let's create now let's see the UI. Now you can see because div is a block element, which means it takes the full width, right? And so yeah, so that is div. And don't worry, I'm gonna, yeah, so definitely I'm gonna make you understand the height and width. It's very important, but understand div means block element, so which means it takes the full width, and height yeah, so content height depend on the element, element height depend on the content, right? So you can see, and now there is no padding, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just use something advanced, but just just you pretend you don't know about. Okay, flex, and then justify center and item center. Yeah, definitely I'm gonna talk about it, but to make you understand the padding, so right now, so now it's center. Why? Because we use justify center. Okay, and now if you use padding, so let's say padding 10 for every angle. Now you can see the 10 is right. This is the padding, and you can understand, like, if I remove these two things, and okay, now this is the padding. And if you want to, like, debug, so you can use now see the padding is there, right? So you can see we have the padding. Even you can use the advanced third-party tools to debug, right? So yeah, also this Chrome provide that debugging. So this is the padding, right? And if you want to create more, you can practice with, right? So let's say I create another one. So let's make it not flex. Let's create a span, because span is an inline. So I'll create, and let's say span, and then, oh sorry, we have to put this one, and then put same things, just but it gonna be 8, not 10. Let's say 4. Now you can see, right? So you have 4 padding from each angle or each side. So this is a padding. You can use bottom, left, right, right. So yeah, and even you can mention, if you put P4, or let's say you can put P left, or 2 P bottom, 4 P top, maybe 7 P right, maybe 12. Now let's see. Now you can see the padding style is there, right? So yeah, this is the padding is all about, right? And then we have border, margin. But let's understand the width, height, right? It's very important before you jump into anything. So this is the width sizing, okay? And if you, it says utility for setting the width of an element, that's called width. But let's see our dog. So utility tells the browser how wide an element should be, and we have 3 things: fixed, fractional, and full. Fixed means we can fix this way: predetermined pixel based scale, maybe 10, 20, like this is a fix. right? And this fix and this, these three are depend on the parents. Fractional size depend on parents. So we have another that is a fractional size, which means, let's say if your parents is 100%, and if you put 1/2 on child, it means child child inherits 50% of it, right? And then we have also the third one is special, like we can put full, maybe auto or screen. This is width, right? And if you don't put anything, a block element takes the full width, but inline element, for example, span, they are not gonna take the full width, they're gonna take its content width, right? This is the width. And similarly for height, but it's a difference a little bit when you work on complex and when you work on layout or a grid system. But yeah, so also we have three things, that is fixed size, and then content based size, which means a special keyword you can say, and then viewport size. This is a viewport size. So screen means take full screen height, and viewport means available available browser screen, that is viewport. And so yeah, this is the height. And height depend on parents. If you don't put it, you cannot see any height, just it should be content height. This is the height and this is the width. And now we have to keep in mind the max width, the min width, right? And the max height, the min height. So let's go to doc, and we have all the element. This is the min, max. Just max, just set the value. If you just read this doc, like sets the maximum allowed width of an element. You cannot surpass this limit, right? So that is max width stops your element from growing too wide on large screens. It's like telling the element you can grow, but only up to this point. And min width for like opposite, like you cannot shrink beyond this point, right? So yeah, this is the min and this is a max. So it's applicable for width and also height. But as I told you, height depend on our parents if you don't put anything. So let's practice, right? And so if you want to see the class, you can see. So this is a so we have same. And guys, if you look at we have the same class. Okay, just we have W means width and the number, fractional, and this is the scale, 3x, 2x, and you can see here the demonstration. This is a fixed number, right? W96, 80, 64, 44, 48, and also this is a fractional, and this fractional depend on parents. This is a percentage base, right? And then we have the scale, right? This is a container scale, and you can use size, but yeah, size can handle both side, yeah. But we don't use size much more, but mainly we use width and these things. And for height, you can see the same class, right? And then max width, we have this class, like this is the min width W, right? And yeah, this is the min width. So this content is like this, and so we have max width, right? We have max width. Right? So now let's understand a little bit more. So we understand the padding, we understand the padding, and let's understand the screen. Now if I put height screen, now you can see the new UI. That is, it takes the full viewport, right? This is the browser visible area. It takes full width, a full height, and this is the block element. That's why it takes full width as well. But if you put here in also in span, now you can see the different answer or different UI. Okay, yeah, so this is the span, and I think as you know, okay, so I have to do inside div because this is a not block element. I forget about it, man. So let's put this class again, and h screen, and then block. Now see text, and now we can now here we can restrict a lot of things. First, let's say this is a div, and let's say we fix width is 64. This is a 64 is the a fixed number, right? Now you can see right, this is a fixed number. And then we have, so let's say we put the and 1/3, so let's see 1/3. So this is a 3 part, so this is a 1/3, right? And now, and this is the children, so if you put here, let's say full, so now so it become the parent, so let's say the parent is 100%, now child become 100%. But if you put a half, let's say half, same percentage, now you can see it's become half, right? And for example, for height, I'm not going to put here, just I'm going to put, let's say height 60, so now you can see 60. This is the height. And as I told you, in this div we didn't put any height, so if you don't put any height, so height can take its content height. So yeah, so this div has two children. One children has itself 860, but if you change here, let's say height 80, now you can see I think it's not exist this, let's say 72. Now 72, and let's say 100, not 100, 90, 92, I think 92. This is a 92, right? And yeah, so this is a height and this is a width, right? And Now I'm going to show you a very basic component, that is create another one where we can understand each section, that is part 2 jx. And so I'm going to just copy the code I have already this is a so you can understand part 2, and here I have to also import just part 2. So what is the error? It is not defined. Okay, so I have to import here. Yeah, and now here clearly you can understand the fourth things we talked about. So this is the box model, right? If you see the code, we use border, right? So this is the box model, and max with Excel. That means this is a container. If you look at the max Excel, this is a container. Now this is a max width on larger screen. It cannot grow furthermore. But if you change the scale Excel to 2XL, now you can see the different UI on larger screen. See, right? If you put more, let's say 4XL, now you can see the 4XL, right? So even, yeah, it can shrink. Now it can shrink, right? But it cannot grow. So this is the limit of this container, right? And then we use all the stuff like our text Excel, right? And route, yeah. So right now I'm not going to talk about the other stuff. Just I'm going to focusing on this max, mean, right? Then we again visit this and we talk about. Now if you look at the here you are also and margin, definitely going to talk about. And then this is a width 32 if you look at then. And now this is a width utility. So this is a percentage, 50% of parents. So parents have 100%, parents have 100%. If you look at so this is a div and we don't put it. So as I told you, div is a block element, which means it takes 100% the width. That's why we just fix 32, height 22, 20, and yeah, this is a fix, right? And yeah, auto grow height based on the content. And we have padding 222, right? And this is the stuff. So this is a, and then we have max width and min width. Yeah, this is the things. So yeah, this is a half, 1/3, full, 40 and double screen, right? So it takes the full width. That's why you can see the scroll bar, horizontal scroll bar, because it doesn't care. It takes the full width of visible browser. And yeah, so yeah, it infers the visible browser. And this is a use case of all width. And then we have also for height, and this is the height, right? So this is 20, this is 40, and this is auto. And then you have max width and min width. If you look at this is the max width and min width. Now see, now here if you look at now, So this is the mean width. It doesn't shrink beyond this limit, but it can grow. It can grow, right? And also we put also max width, so it doesn't grow beyond this limit. So that is, guys, max and min. Because if you look at our real UI, so now that now it makes sense to you why now here you go, right? So it takes time, and because it's a free version of Vercel, I think. Okay, and now, so this is sizing. Okay, so we already talked about sizing, and we have also the border, right? Because so spacing and sizing we already talked about, right? Spacing and sizing, and this is the sizing and this is the spacing, and we have margin, right? We have margin. This is the margin, right? We have minus, we have plus, right? So minus means we can use, and if you see, same class, guys, same class, just we have margin bottom, top, right, auto, px, py, right? Just you have to understand, and then space, which means between content. You can put space y, space. Now, yeah, this is the margin, the outer part, and the right, left, top, bottom, and the horizontally, the vertically, and yeah, this is all about minus top, bottom. If you put this, so you can see this type of UI, right? So yeah, and here you can change the direction. And so if you see our UI, we put some here. We're not putting margin, but we have another segment, another part, that is, let's create that part, part 3.jx, and let's go and copy, part 3. Yeah, but you get the idea, like margin. Yeah, so yeah, okay, so box model we use margin, I forget, right? So this is a margin 6, right? This is a margin 6, this is a margin 6, right? And like you have to understand the, so guys, this is the diff. Okay, so you have to understand the relationship between parents, child, grandchild, great grandchild. So right, so the more complex the project is, the more layer you have. The more layer you have, the more difficulty or complex you get. So that's why you always keep in mind the relationship, because when you introduce flex or other stuff, this relationship matter most. So that is the things. This is a div, and so here you put with full. So all the children gonna be influenced based on this full. If you put 64, and then if you put let's say in this box children, so it's gonna be only 64. It doesn't matter if you full put, right? And you can overwrite, right? So let's see this is a 64, and let's say 64, and let's see what you can get, not here. Okay, So 3XL, this is Excel. And we have box model, and how I'm gonna show, man. Let's create here another things. So let's say I create another div, that is here I put another div. So this div gonna be okay class, and let's say width is 64 and adding 2, but here I'm put box px, and then I'm gonna put width 72. Now you can see, let's put a background color so you can visualize it. Let's put a background color. Now your children override your parents with, right? So this is very important. You have to keep in mind if you do these things. But if you restrict, guys, if you restrict here, let's say max width gonna be let's say you can put in any number 64. So this is like, you know, so all the classes you have. So let's say max width, max is small. Let's say I put max is small. Let's see. So it's override, right? So it doesn't matter. So yeah, so children can override, right? So guys, this is the things you have to practice a lot. So this is our first chapter, and even in this code we already cover all the chapter, but yeah, definitely I'm gonna walk through again. Now let's understand the remaining 4, because it's kind of like just UI, right? So let's understand chapter 4, 5, 6 at once, because these are just basic things. So this is the typography, and you can see the font sans serif and mono. We have 3 built-in font family from Tailwind CSS. If you want, you can customize the font from Google or any other third party. And yeah, we have all the stuff. So I'm not gonna explain each class, so I'm gonna dive into the UI so you can understand better. And this is a background. Same things, we have background color, background image, origin, and we have background size. And this is matter most. So that's why I'm gonna go with each class. So this is a BG auto. So it infer automatically, it detect, and then we have BG cover. I think we use these two class a lot, like, you know, cover and content. If you look at, this is a cover. So it says like, you know, utility to scale the background image until it fills the background layer, cropping the image if needed. So if you look at this image is cropped, that's why it's cover the entire layout. And yeah, this way you can put it. It's a BG and the square bracket and then URL, and then you have to push the path. You have to put the path, and this is a content, so it does not scale. or crop. So it show the entire your image. And this is the water, right? And we have the like and this class it's and this is the image, and like when you use linear color. And yeah, if you look at here, we use in our project we use a lot of linear color. This is the gradients color, right? Not yeah, this is a gradients color, right? So use by using this this class. This is a we have this stuff, this type of property, right? And this is the border. We have border radius. If you look at, we have border radius, right? This is the border radius, so which means rounded. And then border width, all the class, and we have border width, right? This is the border width. We have border color. This is a class, border black, white, and then a color plate. And we have border. So let me show you the color plate. This is a color plate. So guys, we have this type of color plate, and Tailwind I use this color plate, right? So the value is 50 to 950. And yeah, and you can see 50 means you can see the the very faded, and now you have the dark, right? So yeah, the higher value it is, the darker it is, right? So yeah, if you want to create an amazing UI, just you get here, and yeah, you can use this color plate. That is all about border color. And this is a border color. And then we have, you use transparent, and then all this stuff, right? And yeah, this is the border color. And then we have border style, and we have solid, we have dash, dotted, double, hidden. If you look at, this is a solid, this is a dash, dotted, and double. This is a border. And we have outline width, outline, and this is outline. So you can increase the scale. And we have the outer color. This is the outer color, right? And we have outline style, outline solid, dash, like this. And then we have outline offset, and then negative. And yeah, this is the things, right? So border, and then we have shadow. We have these things, box shadow. And yeah, this is a box shadow, the shadow Excel, so you can see the shadow, right? And yeah, and also we have the opacity, the text shadow. This is a box shadow, this is a text shadow, this is text shadow, this is the opacity. You can see opacity 25, that means it's so faded, and it's so it's dim, and it's become dark. And then we have mixed blend mode, right? Yeah, so you can create amazing UI. And then we have background blend mode. This is a background. And mask cliff, we have mask cliff, and all this stuff, right? So let's work on UI. So I've already it's gonna be part 3. and then so we already import this part 3, right? We write it, and now we have entire code, this 3 chapter inside 1. So let's see our UI. So this is our UI, all the stuff we handle here. So this is the typography section, then we have background section, then we have border section effect. All right, so typography is very simple. This is a 3 font, and this code is available on our GitHub, so you can check that description if you want to. So width full, we already talked about it. So it takes full width, and mean height screen, minimum screen will be this one. So we talk about height screen, but this is a minimum. So yeah, and then the background, and then padding 10. Forget about flex right now, and space white 20. Right, this create each children space 20. So we have this this children, and also this one, also this one. So we have 4 children. So each children, this is a horizontal gap 20. It's a typography, and we have the parent is full, which means whatever the parent, this children has full, right, full, and then max width 5 pixel. This is the max width 5 pixel. And now if you look at it, can reduce. If you change the background color, then you can understand this is the max width 5 pixel. If let's remove 5 pixel to 3 pixel, now you can see, and let's put not white, let's say red. Oh yeah, white. Let's say gray. Let's say gray. 30. Now you can see, right? This is a max width, and then we have this 3 font, text Excel. This is the typography, font sans, mono, and then font size. We have text SM, base, Excel, for Excel, right? And then we have smoothing. And yeah, these are very simple, and so I'm not gonna walk through, because yeah, so you can practice with. And what I'm gonna do, this is just basic things, and this is the text decoration and the text alignment. So I'm gonna go the background. I'm gonna jump into background. So this is just there is nothing to explain. So this is a background. Same case, this is a with full, max width 5 pixel, and the round 2 pixel, and shadow. And then we have this one. This is I think guys you know the traditional CSS, so this is called inline CSS. So yeah, background image, and then yeah. But if you look at, this is a Tailwind style background, right? So we repeat it, background no repeat, and this is the background no repeat. This is a background color, right? And we use background cover and background content, right? So yeah, like when you use image tag, and then if you use this type of things, then you can get it, right? If I show you my real project, and now you can see, guys. So here I use background cover, not content. So you can see it cover the entire layout, right? It doesn't matter. It's look good. And yeah, if you look at here, just I'm using the text, so it's a bold. And if you look at, I use the shadow, right? The shadow effect. Here also I looked at the shadow. If you look at the shadow, right? So guys, this is a real life experience. And yeah, this yeah, so this is a double border. If you observe, this is a double border, right? So yeah, so this is your basic fundamental things. If you practice this type of things, so you can build it. And then we have border section. We have this border section. This is a border, and it's helpful. Why? Because if you go any, let's say, any create restaurant, so now you can understand this is a border, this is a hover border, right? And yeah, so that's why you have to practice, man. This is a border, dash border, right? An effect. And then you have border, and then this is a border, and then here we have border and then border color. So you have to put border, then border color. And this is the border dash dot, and yeah, this is outline offset -2. So you can see outline here. This is the opacity, and this is the outline, and then effect. This is the effect section. We have box shadow, we already talked about it, and this is the opacity 100, 60, 30, and yeah, this is just class, so there is nothing complex. Just you have to practice, and then you can understand. I hope so far it makes sense. Just what you like, you have to practice, then all the things will make sense. All right, everyone. So far we cover section 1, section 2. Now we are entering section 3, and the first chapter is chapter 7. First chapter is in this section is chapter 7, which is flexbox. And flexbox is very important because when you work on a real project, and if you have nested structure inside it, you have to use flexbox a lot, and also grid system. So let's first deal with flexbox. So as you know, first I go through a simple doc, then we can then we will see the Tailwind doc, right? So let's see mine doc. So this is my documentation. So just I go through a little bit about this type of things, like, so you can understand that terminology. So this is a flexbox. It's very simple. Flexbox is a layout system that arranges item in one direction at a time. And if you talk about if you put flexbox, like, as a default, it's a horizontally, which means left to right, and then vertically top to bottom, right? And then the first step is the first part. If you want to use, you have to turn on your layout into flexbox. So just you have to put a flex on a parent, right? You have to put flex on a parent, and then you have to choose the direction, right? It could be row, it could be column, right? So as a default, like, yeah, and also yeah, it's depending on the axis. So this is like, you have to decide the main axis where items line up. If you talk about flex row, so this is the default, so it line up horizontally. So in flexbox world, we call item means children of parent, right? Yeah, so that's here we call item. So flex row, like, each item line up horizontally, which means left to right. And column means line up vertically, top to bottom. So yeah, and then spacing between items or children. So like we don't need to use margin anymore if you use flexbox. So this is a gap both direction, and gap x I think horizontal spacing, gap y vertical spacing, and then alignment, justify or items, and this matters two direction. Like you have to decide the axis. So main axis means um, if you look at main axis means horizontally, and so if you see there, so like it controls where items sit along the direction they are following. If item moves left to right, which means row, so justify control left right spacing. If item moves top to bottom, which means column, justify controls top bottom spacing. And we have this class justify start, centered, between, end. We will all cover. And cross axis, it controls alignment perpendicular to the main axis, right? So if you don't know, like I'll might write. It takes time a little bit. So this is the horizontal line, right? And this is the vertical line. So this one is horizontal line, which means it's a main axis. So this is the main axis, and this is a cross axis, right? So when item, like when you put flex row, so each item which means justify line up horizontally, and item line up vertically. But if you change, let's see, if you change flex column to row, so now it become this is the cross, and this is the main, right? But if you change, let's see, you change now, and here you have like the flex. I don't know, guys. Oh my god. So now let's say this one. So now it's become cross, it's become main, it become cross. So now item line up horizontally and justify line up vertically, because you change the axis, right? So this is a fundamental gamage, right? So yeah, that the things he's saying, like controls alignment perpendicular to the main axis. So if item move horizontally, cross axis is vertical. If item move vertically, cross axis is horizontal. And we have this class item start, item center, item end, and item stretch. Then we have the second thing is controls how children sharing remaining space. So we have this class flex on, which means item expands to fill a leftover space, and then we have none, item stays exact size you give it, and then auto, item grows and shrink depending on space, and then initialize, like item can shrink but won't grow fully. And then we have wrap. So item move to the next line when there is no enough space, right? So this is a wrap item. So now we are going to code something to visualize. Okay, so now let's code. So let's create a new folder. Let's say called section. Inside section 3, section 3, and then inside section 3 let's call flex 1, and then RFC, and then here and run our so let's understand first these things. This one, what does mean switch one, right? So how we can turn our normal layout into flex. So okay, and now so first is let's create a this is a div. We have div, and this is a flex 1, we call box. Okay, box 1, this is the parents. So here we have to put packet, otherwise you can see guys. And let's put class name, and it's gonna be let's say flex. Now here I'm not gonna put flex, but here let's say flex background okay 200, and then padding around 4, and height, let's say height I put manually. I think guys we will talk about it. So height 20, and width let's say okay, let's not not decided. So I'm gonna copy 1 2 3. So we have 2, we have 3, we have 4. So now if you look at the UI, then you understand. Okay, here you go. So now this is our 4 box 1, box 2, box 3, box 3 before attaching flex. Now I just convert this normal container into flex box. So I'm put just flex. Now you can look at. Now the item or children is line up horizontally. This is the mean. So I decide direction row, right? And by default flex is row. Here I'm not putting row, right? Here I'm not putting row, but if I put, let's say, flex column, let's flex column. So now you can see it is tagged vertically, right? So now it becomes the initial stage, right? So yeah, when you when you don't put flex, so now after putting flex column, it's become the same UI. But there is a use case. There is a lot of use case, guys. And as a like, if I do let's say flex row, so now this is a default behavior, right? If I remove, then you can see same. You can see same. right? So yeah, and now, and this is the first step, understanding the direction, and I choose right, and then spacing between items. So we have gap. So if I walk you through the documentation of Tailwind CSS, so you can understand, here we have, so this is the flex box and grid, this is a flex basis. Okay, so you can see all the stuff, and here there is a demonstration, and we have flex direction. This is a flex row reverse, flex column, column reverse, right? So you can check that documentation, and yeah, so, and then yeah, and we have flex auto, flex initial, flex none, right? So yeah, this documentation is very helpful. And let's see other things. Gaf. So here we have gaf. It's a gaf property. Okay, gaf number and all this stuff. So we can use that gap. Right. So it creates a space between two item. So let's add our, if I put gap, so gap 2 means the both direction. So let's see. Now you can see the gap both direction. Make our right, and as you know, guys, div. So here you are not putting any width. So div can takes a full width, but when you use flex, so with respect the flex rules and regulation, right? So because flex control everything, not everything, but in this case, flex doesn't allow automatically takes full width. So this is a flex, this is a gap 2, right? And if you want to, even you can put the flex x, y, and then alignment, justify an item. So let's understand the class. We have class this 4 of, now I just mention out just 4, but we have more than. So again I'm just read out, if item move left to right. So in our case, item move left to right. So justify control left right spacing. So if I put justify here, so justify centered, now you can see now this entire component become in center, right? Because we put in main, right? But if you wrap this off again, let's say cut and inside another div, then you can see a different. So let's say and so here I just remove. Let's see what you can see. But if I put again, now because this is a justify center, but let's see if you put justify between, now you can see yeah. because as I told you guys, now I didn't put anything in our parent, so that's why, because when you put flex in parents, so as I told you, div cannot take full width, so that's why I create another children, another div inside that parent div. So this is the main container, and this is the parent of this 4 item, right? So now now you can play with that. Now it's justify between. If you change justify between, let's say evenly, so you see this UI evenly, this portion same, this portion, like each portion is same, right? And now when it comes to, so this is the justify, right? When item move left to right, if item move top to bottom, in this case let's say we change flex column, flex column. Now now in this case item is gonna move top to bottom, so now item move top to bottom, right? So in this case if you put centered, so justifies now become, it's not gonna work. Why? Because justify control left and right spacing, and justify control top bottom spacing, this is spacing, this is spacing, right? It's controlling. But in this case item gonna help this, the axis alignment, like item control alignment perpendicular to the main axis. So if item move horizontally, so cross axis is vertical. If item move vertically, cross axis is horizontal. So now item start, and now if I put item center, it will work. Now if I put item center, each box you can see center, in the center, right? So let's put item centered, right? It's so cool. So keep in mind, if you change the direction, the movement, so the cross axis and main axis also will be affected. So okay, so if I put again the default behavior, so now you can see a different, right? Now it become, so item center, justify center, right? And now if you put height here, let's say height screen, now you see the new things, right? Because now H screen means you take the full area of viewport. So yeah, so now from vertically it's aligned, and horizontally it's also is aligned, right? If you remove the item center, now you see the different scenario, right? So it's horizontally center but vertically not, right? So now if you change again the flex row, flex column, you can see, so now it's not gonna work. Justify center, it's not gonna work. Justify center, it's not gonna work, because now if you put item center, then you see. So guys, just you have to play with. Just I'm just like I'm spending time on it because this is the main game of this, flex. Now see, right? Now it's vertically centered, it's horizontally centered, right? Because we change the axis, right? Flex column, right? And I hope guys that makes sense so far. And yeah, so we have all the items star, item center, so you can play with that. And also how children take their space. So we have this flex one, right? And let's see if you put here flex one, so we can see flex one. Now it takes, okay, just let me change the default behavior. Now it takes the remaining space. Flex on, item expand to fill leftover space. Right. So this is a flex one, does take leftover space. And the width, the height based on this height, right? And then we have, this is a flex auto, flex initial. So yeah, you can play with this class. And we have also wrap. So let's say if you increase more, let's say another 2, that is 5 and 6, and here I'm fixing with, let's say 32 or maybe 40. Okay, 40. I fix with 40. So now you can see this is a 40, right? And if I put 40, maybe 40, maybe 50, 52. So right, so now you can see the content adjust itself. But if you put flex here, let's say flex wrap, now just check this out. Alright, so now the item is in the second line, right? Right, so yeah, this is the wrap item, and it's very helpful when you work on a responsive UI, like maybe you want to show one item for mobile, 2 item for tablet, 3 item or 4 item from larger screen. So this wrap item is very helpful, right? And so this is the our flex box, and let's understand another example where I can just walk through everything. That is flex 2, and jx. Just I'm gonna go and grab my code. So this is a flex, just copy entire flex and just flex 2, and I just flex 2. Now you can see the entire good looking UI, right? And this is a flex direction, and this is a row alignment, and flex grow, flex 1, it takes both, right? So if you see the code, but This is a flex wrap. This is a flex wrap. Right? This is just same code, but in organized way and very. Just here I just make the UI very good. So you can copy the code, right? So this is guys all about flex. Next video and next part we are going to understand the grid system. So yeah, and remember one things, flex is a one direction layout. All right everyone, so far I have complete the discussion of flexbox, and now let's move on to grid system. Just you have to keep remember one thing, flexbox is a one directional layout and grid is two directional. So let's see first the dog a little bit. So this is a very basic definition, but it's very important. Grid divide an area into boxes, then place items inside those boxes however you want. So I'm saying again, item means children. So the same things, flexbox one axis, grid two axis. And the first step, if you want to turn your normal layout into grid, you have to put a grid class. So let's check out our code. So this is a grid, and let's create div that is box 1, and then put some background color and bg okay. So let's not put here. Let's create cut and then div and then here. So here just okay. So background now is number 10, 13.4, and height let's say 20. And I'm gonna copy 3 or 4 times. Just shift alt and key down key 1 2 3. So put 2 2 3 4. And if you look at the UI, so this is basic, right? The same like the way we design normal. This is normal structure, and because each div takes full width, so that's why they take. And now let's convert our this into class, and let's put grid. So nothing changes. Why? Because you have to tell the browser how many grid you want, right? So, and you have to keep remember one thing, that is, so we have two system. One is column wise system and the second is row wise system. So first I'm going to understand I'm going to take you to understand the column wise system, right? So first I have to define the column, and this column system break space into x things. If you put 2, column become so the grid become 2. If you put 3, right? So this is just, you have to tell the 3 column and yeah. So let's put that, and if you put like let's say you have to put grid column, and then column 1, column 2, let's put 2. And if you look at now, this is the column, guys. 1 column, 2 column. So let's give some margin, like gap. They put some gap. So yeah, the gap is, now you can see, so it's a two directional gap, like column wise and row wise. So yeah, so let's understand first gap. So this is a gap, so it's spacing between rows plus column. This is the rows, and this is the column. This is the column gap. All right, and yeah, and now this is a second step or second part, and then third part, sizing column. So like you are deciding how big each slice should be. So it's up to you guys, like the way you want. So like it's basically you want to customize your columns, right? So you have an option. So like you can put customize. So let's say, and just some copy again these things. So let's change the color background. Hope let's put red, and 3, 4, 5. It's the same UI, right? Here let's put like margin to 4, so I can see the gap. Yes. So here I can decide customize, that is you have to put the square bracket and 150 px, and then underscore second 1 fr, then third 2 fr, and now here you go. Guys, just think about for a second. If I remove this one, so for a second, and now, so yeah, this is the layout. First one is 150 px, then 1 fr, and then second is third fr, 2 fr. So fr means, so if you look at fractional unit, the grids, right, this is a fractional unit. That means it takes the leftover. Yeah, so like if you put column 3, and let's say in our case we have width, let's say 1000 width. So if I put let's see, if I put here, I put 150, so we have, for example, we have 800. So 1 fr means 200. Yeah, so like if we divide 3 the 900, so each 1 fr means 300 px. So 2 fr means 600 px, right? So yeah, each fr divide same width. So that is the customized version. So you can customize your column size, right? So we have 3 column size, but each column size is different because we are customizing it. And yeah, so here's like first column is small, second column is huge, and so on and so forth. And then gap, we already talked about it, the same gap, like the same as like flex, right? But just it's create the spacing between rows and columns. And then there is a span. We call like making item span columns, right? So which means it takes off more than one column. Let's build up the UI, then that makes sense. I'm gonna create again this one. So and I'm gonna change the color. I'm gonna make blue. Okay, sorry. Blue. Cool. That is blue, and here I have to change. Let's say put 3, and here I'm gonna put the customized version, that is call span 2. So now you can see let's say put 4, then because I have 4, now so the column size is 4, but first column take 2 span, which means one column have 2 span. So that's why first column become this much large, right? So it twice as the second and third, right? So that's all about span. Just it's saying same things, like if you have a grid and 3 columns, one item can stretch across 2 of them, column span 2 or column span 3, right? So let's see if you put let's say if you put again the 2, and then if you put here column span, let's say call span 3, so this is a UI. So the 3 column become 3, right? 1 become 2. So yeah, this is the UI. So also you can modify the column, right? Guys, remember we are just working with the column system, right? And then same things we can do with row system, but here if I change here, so this is a column. Let's change this one. Just look at this UI. Okay, we have this two column, and yeah, and 1 2, this is a 2 row 2 column. So let's change rows. Now you can see now we have these rows, and we don't have to mention it. Let's say if you don't mention, right, this is a row wise. And I'm gonna just copy this code, and so you can understand. And here I'm gonna paste. I'm gonna change that color, make green. Oh no. Okay, I'm not gonna copy this one. I'm gonna copy this one. So that is, let's change the blue, make green. And so we have the column system. Let's change the row system. So this is a row, right? So we have this one. We have this one row. But don't mess around, just remove this stuff. So this is a row, guys. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, right? So right now we are in the row system, and also we can customize it. Let's remove some. We can also customize the row height. So we have to do same things, that is, let's put 8 px underscore, then second one 1 fr underscore, let's say 100. So yeah, this is a row. You can see 1 fr. So this way you can also here I forget, like, now you can visualize. Let's change more, let's say 2 fr. Let's see. It's not working. Margin top. Because we put height fixed, so we have to remove the height. Now you can see, right? So this is a 2 fr, this is a 1 fr, and this is a 100 px. Yeah, sorry, yeah, 2 fr and right. So this is our column system, right? So you can do all this stuff. Column system means it's run left to right, and column run left to right, but rows run top to bottom. So this is the UI. Even you can also put the same things, like, rows span. So let's say put rows span 2. So now you can see but here you have to change. Okay, let's copy this one. So this is let's say column 3, and we have to put rows. We have to also put or grid rows, and you can understand that things grid 3. Yes, cool. And here if you put rows, rows, and here let's say rows 2. Now here just check it out. Oh, rows, ROW, rows. Now, all right, so we have, so this is a 3 column, and we have two rows or 3 rows. So like yeah, grid 3 rows. If you look at first div, first box, rows 2, first box, rows 2, right? And these are just same. So this is just a simple UI, but you have to change based on your requirement, right? So this is the fundamental things, nothing else. We have just a responsive grid. So let's create some grid 2 where you can understand the responsiveness. Grid 2, just I'm gonna go and grab my code. So let's say and we have grid 2, we have grid 2, wow, we have grid 2, okay, just change this. So this is the grid and it's responsive. If you now it's become responsive, now it's become 1, right? And this is just responsiveness. So check out how you do responsiveness this way. If grid columns 1, so Tailwind work like Tailwind approach is mobile to larger screen. So as a default, it behave on mobile version style. But if the layout is more than a smaller screen, so grid become 2, and which means tablet, and more than tablet on larger screen, grid become 4, column become 4. So now here column we have 4 because it's a larger screen, and this is a almost a mobile version. So yeah, this way you can design your grid, and I hope all the basic stuff makes sense. If you want to go check out the doc, so you can go, and same things we already, and this is a grid system. We have a grid template column and all this stuff, nothing else. You can read out, you can use that. We have same grid row wise, right? So yeah, all the things we already discussed, and it's time to practice. So yeah, just you have to practice a lot. The more you practice, the better understanding you get over the time. So we already covered this chapter 1 and chapter 8, and next part we are going to cover this positioning and display. All right everyone, so far I have done chapter 7, chapter 8, and now it's time to deep dive into chapter 9. So we have two part, positioning and display. So let's go to our Canva and understand a little bit about these two terms. So we have positioning, and it's very crucial to work with the complex project. So you have to understand. So positioning means it's very simple, like where should this element sit relative to everything else. That's it. And display means how should this element behave in the layout flow, right? So these two, positioning and display, controls element appear, how they overlap, and how they take space. So first I'm gonna go with our display system. So as I talked about earlier, is that we have block element, inline element, right? So that is display system, and and this decide the layout behavior of an element, right? So we have this concept first, the block element. So let's understand what block element is with code, right? So let's create section, and I'm gonna call chapter 9 chapter 9 chapter 9, and then I write displaying .jx and rfc, and let's, this is another div. Oh, okay. So each div take each div a block element, right? So this is a so I create just class and then space, so space y and 4. Yes, and now here I have this is a div, and first let's create another div so you can understand the fact. Box 1. So by default it's a inline element, so let's say bg block element red. And so if you look at the UI, now I have to update this on. Displaying guys, if you look at this UI, you clearly see it takes the full width, because right now we don't restrict anything, just right. If you restrict by putting width, a fixed width, then you cannot see the full width, but this is called a block element. And yeah, so if you want to put let's say okay, so first understand the second term is inline, right? So yeah, inline means like inline elements sit side by side and cannot be given width or height. If you want to put width and height, it doesn't work. Let's see. So this is a div, and we have span is by default inline element. So let's say box 2, and this is the box 2, and let's put the background color so you can visualize background. Let's say amber 40, yeah. And now if you look at, now you can see this is the box 2, and let's say create another box, then you can actually visualize three things. 1 2, and that is 3 and 4. Let's change the color. Okay, here you have 500, 5 and 6. Now if you, now each box or each element, like they sit side by side, there is no gap. And now guys, if you put here inside in a height, it works. Let's say height 40, right, with let's say with 40, let's say 64. Now just watch the block element, right? So yeah, it works. But if you put here same things inside inline, it does not work. Guys, see, it does not work. That's why we have the third things is inline block. So this is useful for behave like inline but can have width and height, same things, but it have the width and height. So let's say if I put inline, let's say inline block. Now guys, you can see the magic. Guys, this is the magic, right? Now it works because now I explicitly mention inline block, right? And even so, yeah. But yeah, let's say if you want to put, let's say I told you span is as a block, inline element. So if you put block element here, so it become block element. Let's say block. Now this span become a block element. So now it will work if you put, let's say, height 20. Now it's work. Now it's work, right? And right, it's work. So now now as it becomes a block element, so we know block element takes the full width. So that's why you can see this box 3 takes full width, right? So yeah, and now we have the next things is we have the flex and grid. Recently we already talked about, right? And so now I'm not going to talk about it anymore. And now we have hidden, right? Now we have hidden. So hidden means, let's say, and mostly we use hidden when you want to show something on the larger screen. So we hide the particular element for a lower or small screen. But let's say let's say we want to show something for so yeah, I'm gonna show you. Okay, so yeah, these things you can show only. Let's say I put hide. Let's say I put hide, and let's say hidden. This element hidden. So Tailwind as a default, Tailwind approach toward mobile as a default. So yeah, so now it's work for mobile. Let's say if I put small, and now I put, so then it's work. Let's see it's or not. But if I see in mobile version box, which one? Let's see box 4. So you cannot see box 4. Okay, here also you cannot see the box 4. Why? Block. Now you can see 4, but you cannot see here. Right now when the screen is more than smaller, then a box element is got hidden, right? So yeah, and that's is all about hidden, right? And that is the thing, guys. Just we have these 4 or 5 things, and it's very helpful, and you will understand when you work very a large project and very complex system, right? So this is our displaying, and if you go to the Tailwind CSS, and so you can see the docs from here. You can get the idea by reading each class, right? So here you have the fundamental like things, core concept, and layout. So inside layout we have all this stuff, and yeah, so but this is just basic things, and you have to keep in mind. So yeah, so we complete the position, the displaying, and now let's time to understand positioning, what it does mean, and it's very helpful. Positioning is very helpful, like so this is a positioning system, and this is a part 2, right? And this positioning controls exactly where an element is placed. So you can customize, and we have 5 things: static, relative, absolute, fixed, sticky. Let's decode one by one. So static means element stays in normal document flow, no custom positioning allowed. So let's understand that. So I'm gonna create another file inside, that is positioning.jx, and then rfc. Here you go, and this is and we have another div. Okay, so and let's create a class. Okay, class mean height is screen, mean height is screen, and yeah, and this one going to be static. So yeah, by default element is static. We don't have to put anything. And let's say I put div, and I call another div inside. So first let's say this is the static. So let's class, and then background is I don't have to put. So this is a padding, I say 6, and for this one let's put class static, and then background let's say blue, and then padding 4. Now let's see what happened, and I have to change here to showing a positioning. This is static, right? And because every element as a default is static, you don't have to put static things, but here just to show you I just put static, right? Nothing else. And then we have second things, relative. It stays in flow but allows offset positioning. Offset means you can push your element left side, right side, top, bottom, so you can push. That's called offset, right? And yeah, so first the element stays exactly where it normally sits, and it does not leave the normal layout, but you are allowed to push it slightly up, down, left, or right. That's called offset. So let's understand. So this is a relative, right? And what I'm gonna do, so just let's copy these things and paste here. And we have the div. So let's create another div. Here I call normal position, and don't put static, just put relative, and here put also relative, and relative, but I'm putting top 4, and left 6 and left 6, and that is move here. Just here I can see I can move top 4 and top left 6. So yeah, you can see top left, and this is it moves the element, right? Because of, and if you look at here I put normal, relative, but relative itself doesn't do anything. But when you put top bottom, it works, because this is called offset, right? And now the third is absolute. So position relative to the nearest relative parent. So absolute depend on the relative. So if I say a very simple word, that is absolute says take me out of the normal layout and anchor me to the nearest parent that has position relative. Alright, so when an element is absolute, it no longer takes up space in the normal layout. And yeah, absolute element must attach themselves to something. So that's we learn these things offset. We have to put offset, otherwise it's not working, right? So let's create the UI. So and let's copy again this stuff, and if you look at these things, so now if I put here relative, then you can see a very absolute. If you put absolute, now you can see let's say create space y. Let's say create a space y. Okay, space y, space y 4, and then next div is then next div I put relative. This is a relative, and then inside we have, let's say we have another div that is, let's say div, and here we call position inside parent, position inside parent, and this is let's even put absolute here. Absolute, and then top 4 and top 4 and right 4, and you can change the background, and I can put the background, and the BG is let's say amber. So if you see now, here I don't need it. Now you can see here, right? But let's say if you remove this, so you can see, because now this div have a relative, so now this one, okay, sorry, like if I remove from here this relative, so you can see this this element I attach inside this nearest relative. If you look at, now you can see right? So that is all about absolute. So absolute depend on the relative. So absolute finds its nearest relative, and based on that element, it takes place and it adjusts based on the offset, right? And yeah, that is uh, absolute and relative. So and also we have other definition, like other UI, but when you work on the project, so we can understand very deeply. And yeah, but just right now I'm just showing you what this term actually means. And then we have fix. But guys, if you if you want to get my code, so just you have to just the link is description, but this is my GitHub. Okay, this is my GitHub account, and everything is, you can get it. So this is the Tailwind CSS, and we have, so this is a component and section 3, and this is a positioning. So just I'm gonna copy it, and here I'm gonna paste it, so it saves the time. Now it's very cool to explain you. So we already understand. Now it's time to understand the fix. It stays in the same position even when scrolling. If you look at, this is a fix, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it always stays the overlay on top of UI. So and yeah, also we have this absolute, like without absolute. Now you can see this is a relative positioning and this is absolute positioning, right? And we have a good absolute the real world things, batching, right? So this is our section 5, and we have the section, then we have the div have a relative, and then we have a span, and then we have this number, so we put absolute, and we put top 0 right 0. That's how right, this is the top 0 right 0. So yeah, this way you can fix it. And then we have fix. So this is the section, and we just put fix, and so this is a mean height this, and we put fix. I stay on the screen, it doesn't matter. And then we also put the offset. Yes, I stay on the screen. Why? Because I put top 4 right 4. But if you change, let's say top right, if you make it left, then you can see, because offset only work positioning. Now you can see, right? So yeah, this is offset is about. And then we have sticky. Behave like a static until scroll reaches limit. Sticky elements scroll normally until they hit threshold, then they stick like this. So this is the sticky. If you look at, I stick to the top while scrolling, right? So this is the sticky. And here you have, this is a sticky, you have to put a sticky. I stick to the top while I scrolling, and then scroll to see sticky effect, right? And this div is like this. And yeah, this is the a concept and the code is out there, just we have to practice. But if you go to the Tailwind doc, so you can also understand this. We have this positioning, and this is a static, this is the absolute child and static parents, so you can get that. And we have static child, we have the absolute child, right? And this is fixed, so you can see this is the fix. So this type of UI you have to face on it, and this is just sticky. If you look at now, it's changed, right? This is stacky. Now see, so mostly this type of UI you can see every single day on your mobile, or maybe any device, or any UI you can see this type of things, right? This is sticky is all about. I hope so far this 2 chapter makes sense. Now what all you do is just to practice more, right? So you will get familiar with all the class, right? And yeah, so far I hope that makes sense. All right everyone, let's deep dive into chapter 10, that is responsive design. And it's very important if you want to create a responsive platform or UI for mobile version, the tablet version, or the larger screen. So you need responsive design for that. So let's first understand a little bit document. So I think the responsive, I think you get that idea what it does. Uh, so it says UI automatically adjusts its layout, size, spacing, and structure based on a screen size. So we have this pre-built size. If you use, so let's say prefix, that is SM, meaning small, and a screen size equal to or greater than 6400, that is equally small. And then we have medium, MD, 768, and then larger, like large, LG, 1024, and XL, extra large, 1280, and then we have 2XL, ultra large, 1536. That is responsive design. And responsive will apply one maybe text, spacing, flexbox, grid, visibility, right? You can design in that way. So let's code. That will make sense more. And then we have chapter, this is the chapter 10. So let's create chapter 10, chapter 10, and that is we have responsive GX. And it's very basic, so I'm going to start with text. So let's say I create h1, and that is, and here just I have to create some, like, let's say class, and then mean height screen, and the text is, let's say, this is this text can be responsive based on the size. So let's say put class, then we have let's say we have text size is as a default. On mobile version we have, let's say, SM. So if you want to, like, if you forget about, just you have to go and check that out from a Tailwind doc. But I know we have, let's say, Excel, and above, let's say we put text Excel, let's say 3XL, or maybe medium. Let's put text 5XL, and large, let's put text maybe 9XL. So let's see, and again I have to add a here, that is responsive. And this is the screen that's how you are seeing, because this is a large screen. And now here you go. Now size is, now it's become the medium size, and now it's become the larger size, and now it's become this one, right? So yeah, this is the responsiveness based on, yeah, when it text, the text is XL, above is small, 3XL. So you have to understand this, this is a very important table. So yeah, you don't need to remember this table, but yeah, like you have to understand, okay, if you put it small, then you have to keep remember, okay, when your screen more than this, then it will apply. And yeah, similar for a medium. So yeah, and we have all this stuff. But what I'm gonna do, just I'm gonna copy the code, because it takes a lot of time to write the code. So because okay, responsiveness. So now you can see the entire responsiveness. So this is for text responsive padding. So yeah, this is our responsive padding. You can see, right, the lower screen it is, the lower padding, yeah, becomes, right? So let's see, same thing guys, nothing special, just section 2, that is padding 4 on mobile, and then above small screen padding 8, above medium 12, above. So right, so this is the responsiveness. And we have responsive flex direction. So this is a flex direction. So now if you look at this, so on mobile version the flex is column, but on above medium screen the flex become row. So if you watch my flex and grids system video, so now you get the idea, what does it mean flex column and flex row. So this is a flex column, right? But if I just increase a little bit, now it's become a row, each box become row. So yeah, row means left to right, column means top to bottom, right? This is a UI. And yeah, and then we have the section for responsive grid. Same things, we have grid for mobile, we have one. And yeah, this is a grid. So we have one for mobile screen, and for larger screen we have two, which means for tablet. And yeah, so you can see two. And trust me guys, you will use mostly grid, flex. If you master these two things, I think 80% UI, you can handle it, because yeah, it's very complex, these two things, but once you get that, it will be easy to create a very amazing UI. For larger screen 4, so for larger screen it's yeah, it becomes 4, right? And also we have responsive visibility, right? So yeah, so like as I show you, you can show the visibility. And yeah, so that is like we have, yeah, so on a small screen, this gonna be hidden. On larger screen, uh, also, yeah, this is small screen hidden, and on lower small screen it's gonna be hidden, and also on medium screen you cannot see. So we have these three things, but if you look at visible only small screen, so let's look at visible only medium screen. So this is a medium and large screen. So if you now visible only on small screen and medium screen, visible only on small screen like mobile, right? So it works, it works. And this is again the same things, the grid, right? So nothing special. So this is a responsiveness, and yeah, this way we show. And I hope so far that makes sense. And if you want to check the docs, just go get it, right? Same thing, just we have to understand the layout. And yeah, so we cover this chapter 2, and we complete the section 3, right? We complete section 3. So just put just this is, yeah, so we complete section 1, section 2, section 3. So far I hope that makes sense. All right everyone, so let's dive into section 4, that is interactivity and state style. This section will help you to add a lot of styling, modern looks, and with help of these two chapters we are going to discover. That is, first one is pseudo-class and variants, chapter 12, animation and transition. So let's first dive into the chapter 11, that is pseudo-class and variants. So as you know, we just go Canva and see some dog. That is, so we have this pseudo class, and that controls UI behavior by putting or adding like hover, focus, active, disable, fast, last, add, event, and before, after. This is the these are very, like, we are not using much more, but anyways, group, hover, peer focus, and dark mode. So let's decode one by one, and so I'm gonna create section 4, section 3, I'm gonna create section 4, that is section 4, and then chapter 11, 11, and then I'm gonna put pseudo class.jx. Oh, sorry, no, that is rfc first understand the hover state. So this is a parent div, and then we have, so let's design our first, that is class mean height screen, and this is a div, So let's learn the H2 hover state. So for understand hover state, so for and then another div, and then inside another div, let's call button. Okay, button. Okay, sorry, and put hover me. So let's see style. It's the first div. That is class background white as a default. Let's put and padding 6 and then rounded yeah, rounded to XL and shadow and then space X6 and then I'm gonna use flex. So and let's say here and button class that is px 6 psy 3 and then background is let's say blue content and then text white and then rounded and when you hover on it then I'm gonna change state, that is background color will be, the background color will be let's say 500 and also I'm gonna put a hover scale, that is hover scale let's say 1.5 and so I put hover scale, so I have to put transition. If I don't put transition it's not gonna work. So but let's test out. That is pseudo class and then now you can see, right? So it works, right? This is hover state. So yeah, I think you observe the platform, they use hover state, and if you go to the dock, so you can see the background, the border, the effect and the filter, and this is we have the scale, this is the scale, so you can use that scale and that is transform. And from here we have, this is a hover, focus and other stage. So from here you can see, and yeah, from here you can also play. And yeah, so this is the first hover state, and then second one is focus. So here we are also just we are just learning hover, and so what I'm gonna do, just I'm gonna go and just copy the code I already create for you guys. So section 4 pseudo class, then same. So guys, I practice a lot, so that's why I think I have to go. So this is a focus state. Okay, and so this is a hover, like we can do this way. This is a hover and this is a focus. And yeah, most of the platform they use focus. So like how focus work. So if you see hover, like UI reaction to mouse, and focus input reaction, right? Hover means it's a mouse reaction, and focus means input reaction. So let's see the code. So this is the class, okay, and we have this div. So this is the parent section, and then we have focus, and then we have this div. Inside div we have input. So yeah, this is just UI, and placeholder click me, and then we use the focus ring. We use focus ring 2, and then also focus ring blue, and then focus ring border blue, and then outline none. So that's why you are getting these things. When you are focused on it, now you can see the ring, right? And yeah, so as a default we have border. So as a default we have border. So this is a focus ring, and 2. If you can change, you can make it, let's say 4. Now you can see the larger, right? So you can increase the 2, 3, 4, and also this is a focus ring blue, and then as a, so this is a focus ring blue, and this is a border blue. So this is the focus ring, and this is the border. Yeah, this is just focus. And we have also that is active button processing animation. So if you look at the right, so when you click on it, then it reacts. This is a code. We have press me, so we have the active, and then we just put scale 95, and then transition. This is the active state, and then we have disable styling disable element, which means see the UI. Now you can see these things. Mostly you will see, or yeah, I think you already see, when something in on progress, you see this type of disable, right? So and mostly on button. So you have to use the class is cursor not allowed, and then also you put a disable opacity 50, right? So yeah, and then we have fast, last, odd, event, and we have fast, last. So you can you have a lot of components. So based on like your things, you just set up, and like yeah, so it's like structuring, styling, right? And I think I don't know when I use these things, but yeah, I think I use mostly hover, focus, and active, and yeah, and sometimes a group hover and peer focus. But yeah, so it exists, and yeah, you have to learn. So this is just and the class is like a fast, then border, last, then border. So yeah, even the border. So you can put, like we have 4, so based on it you can customize the background, the things you want in one yeah, right? Yeah, it's helpful when you want to show different things. And then we have group and group hover. So look at it. Now I just hover on the card, and image also yeah, react. So parent, like child interaction, right? This is a child interaction. Let's see the code. So we have image tag and then paragraph tag. So hover parent to reveal me, right? So if you look at now, I put group hover scale 105, and here also opacity 40 and group hover opacity 100, right? So this is a parents and cursor pointer. So yeah, if you put cursor pointer, so when you hover it, so now you can see the cursor, right? This is a group hover. And similarly we have peer and peer focus, that is now. So and that is, this is a username, and we use the peer focus text blue and also the focus border, so it works simultaneously, right? So I put here and also it works because this is a peer focus, right? And both will work. So that is peer focus. And then we have before and after. We have before, we have after. So this is a relative and before absolute, and then after, like, before, and then we put, right? So this is the before class. So you can change UI based on your timing or based on your sequence. Yeah, if you need, so you can use. And then we have dark mode, and I think now the new version of Tailwind 4, the new version that is 4.1. So where you don't need to do this way, because we Tailwind provide very easy way, and that will reduce a lot of manual stuff. Because if you do this way, you have to just do same things again and again. So that's why we are going to understand these things in next chapter, where you can configure the customized theme, the customized like everything what it needs to be a good UI designer, like UI coder or front end coder, whatever you call. So guys, this is the pseudo class. Right, so just now you have to practice, right? The more you practice, the better you will be. So yeah, and the code is, if you want this code, just check out my description, you get it. And so far we okay, so far we covered this chapter 11. I hope that makes sense. All right, everyone, so we already talked about chapter 11, and now let's dive into chapter 12, that is animation and transition. Trust me, this chapter will help you a lot if you want to add a lot of animation, like built-in Tailwind animation. Even you can customize it, right? So let's go to our doc, that is here. So we have two parts, that is transition and then animation. So first I'm gonna dive into transition. That is basically means transition create smooth changes between one state and another. That is transition is all about. So we have some transition, that is transition as a default, and yeah, and it adds a basic smooth effect to all properties that can be animated. This is a class transition. And then we have transition colors, we have transition wall, duration, delay, and ease. This type of things we are going to deal with. All right, so let's first understand a transition. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create another chapter, that is chapter 12 and 12, and inside 12 let's create animation or a transition. I'm calling animation so I can merge it. Animation RFC, here you go. And then app, I have to import here. So then animation, that is here, and now it's show. So this is a parent div. I'm gonna put mean height screen, and then the basic transition is, so let's create a section. So it's a section, and we have the button. We have button. Yeah, okay, sorry. So let's say button. The button says hover me. Okay, hover me. And so I have to put all the classes. So let's put that is px px6 and py3, and then background I have to put let's say blue or green, let's say green 300, and then text white I have to put text white, and round it, and okay, and round it, and then hover scale I have to put hover scale, that is hover scale, and 110, and then transition wall, and transition, okay, transition wall, okay, transition wall, and then duration 500, okay, sorry, okay, 500, and then delay 200, which means it takes 2 milliseconds, and then ease out you can put, right? So let's see what you got. And yeah, hover me, here you go. But let's so here just have to put the margin bottom 4. No, I okay, for guys, padding 10. Right, it create a scale, and we have all the CSS like transition color and transition wall, everything like color, background, border, transform, shadow, everything inside transition wall. And also duration, how long the transition takes, maybe 2 milliseconds, maybe 5, 1 second, and then delay, it adds a delay before the transition starts, so 3 millisecond, and then easing, like ease in, ease out, linear, casing out. So it controls how the transition feels. It controls how the transition feels, right? So just like, yeah guys, so this is just add on. So like if you have to practice with all the things, right? And yeah, so that is like transition. And yeah, so like let's say copy some code so we can understand more. This is a hover state, and let's copy hover, focus, and active state and disable state. Okay, I have to copy from here. Animation, that is basic transition delay timing, and then transformer. But right now like this. This is a basic, and this is a delay and timing. Now you can see, right? So yeah, it is very basic. So that's what we call basic transition and delay and timing, right? And then we have the transform. So we have the second part is animation. So this is transition, and then we have animation. So animation like repeat automatically without user interaction. That is animation, right? So we have built-in animation, that is animate spin, animate pink, and spin means spin the element continuously, like loader we use mostly on loader, and then animate pink, create expanding ring effect, like animate pulse and animate bounce. And then we have also customized animation by using keyframe, right? So this is animation, and let's just copy the code and just paste on it. So this is transition wall, and yeah, this is animate spin, animate bounce, animate pulse, and then animate pink, hover, right? So let's understand the code, and just we use just class, nothing else. So you, because we work a lot, so we understand everything now. And this is a transition on multiple properties, and so you can get this code. So we have the hover, the background is 60, and then I use rotate 6, and then hover is scale 105, and then I put transition wall and duration 500. If you don't use transition wall, you cannot use this duration. So like it creates smooth things. Yeah, you can use duration, but you cannot feel that things. And then animate spin, you put animate spin, right? And yeah, just animate spin. This is a Tailwind built-in class. And then we have animate bounce, just I put animate bounce, and then animate pulse, just I put animate pulse, and animate pink, just I put animate pink. But if you look at the class like absolute, so to achieve these things, I have to to achieve the things, right? So I create this way, right? The putting or by putting all the class. So so that's why I get this amazing effect. That is animate pink, and then we have interactivity animation like hover state animation. So here you use group hover, and then we put animate bounce. So if you look at here now, right? So it bounce. This one is also a bounce a lower, but it upper. And if you go to the docs, so we have all the stuff. Then we have the transition property, right? So we have transition wall, transition color, almost So from here you also can play with that. And then we have transition behavior, transition normal, transition discrete. So and transition duration. So utility for controlling the duration of CSS transition, and transition timing function, that is linear, is in, is out. So guys, you can read the document, this class, and I want you to practice by putting each class of it and on UI. So you can understand if you put this one what you get, and if you put so you have to put everything, and you have to just try out, then you can learn by practicing. Alright, so this is just transition. So I hope that makes sense so far. So so we also covered this animation and transition. Alright everyone, let's deep dive into section 5. So we have chapter 13 and chapter 14 inside this section 5, which means customizing and theming. So in this section we are going to learn how we can customize our theme, and also the dark mode, the white mode, how we can switch our entire UI into the dark mode, right? So let's dive in. So in this like in this section, my ultimate goal to focus on more UI. So let's create the section 5, that is section 5, and then chapter 13, and inside we have theming. Let's say theme dot jx, and we have to change our index.css. Like if you go to Tailwind documentation, so here you can see the documentation, now theme and variable. From here you can customize. So you have to import this theme and you have to do this way, then you can customize your theme. So now color, that the color you want, that anything you want, so you can customize. Not only color, you can customize the text, the font size, everything. So yeah, this is the documentation. And so what I'm gonna do, I already create. So this is the theme, guys. So I create. So now I'm gonna copy, and so this is I'm gonna copy, and so here so if you look at, so theme, so I just make the color primary, and this is the color, and the secondary color, this one, the then accent is this color, okay, it's a white. So I just design. So if you work on a real old project or big project, so people do this way. So they already set up their brand color, text color, and they use their customized color throughout their project. So yeah, which can help them to create a consistent yeah. So we are going to also learn these things, and so that's why I already set up. And yes, like all the things we learn. Okay, so here you can customize, but just I customize shadow, radius, typography, status, border, text, right? And so let's create a basic UI, so where you can use, right? So this is a theme, and this is a color. Let's color class, and then bg. If you look at our theme, so the color is background, this one, which is soft white. So we have to copy, and now if you put here, it will work, right? So let's say put another div, so we can see theme. Let's see our UI, and now we have to import this one. So that is, let's say theme. Now if you look at, this is our theme, and to make you understand, let's change a dark. just for a while, so you can understand. Okay, this is the background. Like if I put 000, now it's become okay, it's become black now, right? So yeah, it's work, right? Just you have to mention, and throughout your any component, just if you use background in any component, it works, right? This way. And yeah, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and just grab this theme. So it's very just basic UI. Just this is the class and mini screen. So this is a div. All right. So understand. I hope guys now you can make sense. So yeah. All right. So we already what you learn, I use in these things. Like this is a hover effect. So if you look at this is a text prime text prime. Okay. So this is a color. If you look at, yeah, the text color is text prime, so we put here. So yeah, so like you have to put the prefix variable which is text, so you have to put text and then the color. So yeah, so if you use this color, so it works. And this is a flex and item center justify. Now all the things make sense to you because we have learned so far. And then this is a busy surface, so we have the surface color. This is a background surface. We have this background surface pure white, right? And we have also surface mute. And yeah, so this way you can use all the theme color, right? So yeah, so this is our text primary. Yeah, so the name, it's totally up to you, the name you want to put, right? So the name you put here, you have to grab that way. If you put text primary, if you put text blue, whatever you can put, right? So yeah, that way you can grab or you can access into any component. And yeah, this is the background. And also we already talked about, and this is a text accent, this is a hover, right? Yeah, so anything you can customize, but you have to just you have to put you have to use this at the red theme, and then you have to pass the object, and then this is a key, and this so it's a key, it's a value, it's a key, it's a value, right? That's why we are accessing, right? So this is a very basic component, and just my ultimate goal to show you you can use that things. And now it's up to you guys, the more you practice, the better understanding you get. And yeah, just basic UI, nothing else. So this is our chapter 13. I hope so far that makes sense to you. Now let's deep dive into chapter 14, which is our dark system. How we can create a UI where user can switch their preference theme. Maybe it could be white, it could be dark, or like even you can add much more color. But in this like in this case, we are going to implement just two, white and dark. So let's build up our code, but we have to change our Tailwind CSS. So if you go to doc, okay, if you go to doc, so same again, the dark mode is, so now this way you can customize the variant. And this is a Tailwind, the new version doc, and we are going to use this one, right? And so like yeah, so now even Tailwind also use this, right? So I love to use dark theme because it very helpful for eye. So yeah, and so we have to copy these things. So this is the what you need. Just we need this these things, and then we have to paste here. So yeah, so here we just already create our theme, and we will use this theme. So yeah, this is a theme. So here we are just define our variable, okay, and so we can use this variable, right? So that is color bg text card border, and we use variants, right? So because we can use yeah, so like, so it's a reusable, right? So here we are defined, but just we are accessing these things by using var. So this is the default our light theme, and this is a selector. So this is a new way of Tailwind to update the HTML, right? Before the 4.1, we used to do a different way, but this is a new way to do it. And so yeah, so this is the like pseudo class, but it's not pseudo class, it's a selector. So using this selector, we are now, if you look at it, says selector, right? If you look at, so we are using selector, and it's update the HTML theme variable, right, in simple word, and also dark. And then we change the bg is black, text white, card, and border. Even we can add as many as the property, yeah. So, and remember, this is the object, and I think object means key and value. So this is a key and this is a value, right? And yeah, but you have to add this double dash, because this is a Tailwind built-in stuff. Anyways, let's, so this is our theme, and even we have to build something now. So let's build section 14, chapter 14, and we have to build first our use theme. So we can use these themes. Let's build use theme, use theme, and .js. So here you are not returning any UI, so that's why we call a JS. And we have to import, let's say, use effect, okay, here you go. And then also use state, and then RFC, and let's grab some. So here we are grabbing, so let's say theme dot set theme set theme. So this is the use state, and we are grabbing from local storage, because yeah, we are using local storage, because if you refresh, it will persist. But if you don't use local storage, it will not. And then we have to grab that get, we have get item, and then just we have to grab theme, and so or light, So and then and now you got a question where we get this theme and light, because when you update, then we are using get to update these things. Okay, don't worry, just in few minutes we'll go there. So we have to use effect. When we change, it must be run. So this is the arrow function, and then if theme is equal to dark, then add. So we are using document to deal with the HTML. So document element and then class list. So here we are updating the class, and then we are using add method, and that is dark. So we are adding that element, and then that's why we are grabbing here. And then if and else document ID, document element, and then class remove the dark. So if theme dark, add dark. If theme is not dark, then remove dark, because here if you look at as a default we make it this light theme, right? So just it override this default, right? And that's why we are just playing with dark, not light, because light as our default. Or if you want to default as a dark, so you have to change here, then you can get the same result, right? And then we have to set our local storage. We have to update our local storage. So local storage and set item this theme, and we're passing this theme. So that's why we are grabbing this theme here, because here we are just updating, and we have to pass a dependency, that is when theme change, it run this use effect run. And now we have to use the toggle function. Toggle theme, and we are using so like to update that theme, here you are just updating that theme. So we are we are following the best practice, that is we are using function pattern to update our state. And set theme, so this is the setter function. So we have to pass the previous value, whatever it is, and this is the arrow function. This is a callback, and if prev is equal to light, here you are using ternary operator. If light, then so dark, or so light. So it's it means very like it simplifies. It's very easy things like if prep is equal to light, then just make it dark, because this is the switch case. So, and if the prep is dark, that means false. Just keep these things. And now we have to return. We don't need to return UI. Just we need just two things. That is first theme, and then second one is this toggle. That's it. So we write this use theme, and we have to create the our component. So that is theme toggle button, theme theme toggle btn jx rfc, and here we have to import. Let's import use theme. Wow, use theme from dot use theme, and here we have to grab that theme and toggle theme. So we have, so here you are using destructuring. I think no guys, you know, theme and toggle. Because here we are passing this way, theme and toggle theme. So that's why we are just grabbing these things. We have to call that use theme. We have to call that use theme. And now we have to return that UI. So I'm going to use the button. I'm going to use the button, and the button is, I'm using if theme is equal to light, so I'm using ternary operator. So this is the jx. So in this jx you can write logic. So I'm using wow. So this is a switch case, switch to dark, and otherwise switch to light. So it's basically meaning if theme is light, if it's true, keep show this one, otherwise show this one. Let's now we have to call here. So I'm using one click here, I'm using one click, and then I have to call the toggle theme, and now, and let's our UI a little bit good. Style, let's say styles, and px horizontal padding 4, and then py vertical padding 2, and then now we are using color. So customize color is bg card, and we have text, the text color, and then border color, border, yes. So yeah, you can put a meaningful name or the, yeah, and then round it, large. That's it, guys. Now it's finally we are creating the UI, and now we are ready to imply here. So what I'm gonna do, we have theme, right? Here we have theme, but we have to use something, so I have to import. Let's import, we have to import React router right now, because we are going to do something. That is, let's import npmi react router DOM, and let's go to our, that is, let's copy this app so you can visualize, and we are remove this entire app, npm run. Right now we don't need this, so we'll remove here, and theme, this one we need. Let's say call, I don't know, yes, and remove this one, and then theme demo card, I don't know, right? This is a theme, we have theme, right? And yeah, that makes sense. Theme card. Now if you look at our UI, now you can let's see where you get use themes does not provide an export name. Use theme, use theme, use theme. Oh, so okay, so here we have to, because we are using, no, it will work. So this is UI, so if you click on it now, right, and now it's become white, right? So let's, now you can see theme here. If I use here the bg, let's say bg, now you can see here the bg is like, the bg is as a default white, but if you, yeah, and then if you switch it become dark. So now we just know, we just add here. Now if we, right, how cool it is. It doesn't matter how many layer you have, it will work throughout your project. And if you like, if you refresh, it will work, because we are using local storage, right? So it persists, right? And if you want to change this, you also can. Here you have to change just here, just put bg, just bg, and then you can see the magic now, right? And yeah, so based on, you have to change also the color as well, right? So because now you have to just copy the all the this even you can add on the property you want, and then the based on your style you can change, right? But guys, this is a setup, nothing else. This is the basic setup, and this setup help you. And And so this is in this, like, in this section or in this chapter, we learn how to, how to use our theme variable, and how we can switch a dark mode to white mode, and white mode to dark mode. Because real world, now most of the real world project, they show the user choice, right? And yeah, I hope that makes sense to you guys. And so far we already talked about chapter 13 and chapter 14. So let's just complete it. I put a mark. Yes, here also I have to put the mark. And yeah, and next section is building UI, where you can understand how you can design our structure. So where we practice our UI structure design. All right, we reach in a place where we can utilize our knowledge so far we learn. And so we're going to build well. So guys, we are going to build this structure, and this structure is very common, like when you want to build a website, because this is the header, this is the sidebar, and this is a main component, like main section. So if you create this type of structure, even you can add much more complex. So yeah, definitely I'm gonna add much more complex, but just I'm gonna show you how you can think when you want to build a very complex project, right? So just you have to keep in mind and the child and the parent relationship. So in this section, I'm gonna show you exactly. So this is the section 6. Section 6, and I call UI structure. UI structure and RFC. Okay, and I have to, let's say, I think I already did some app. I have to, that is UI dot structure. UI structure, and here you go. So if you go to our now UI, nothing is right. So let's build up. So this is a container, right? And just we have to put the class name is let's say mean height screen, or we already put, so we don't need to put here. And here you have to put flex and flex column. So flex, make flex, and right now I think you can understand. So first build our children. So we have 2 children, header and then it's gonna be, so let's say I comment the first is and the another is, it's gonna be the second part. So this one is header section, top header section, and now just oh, okay. So, and we have inside, if you look at, we have two part, the left and right. So we have to divide two. So we have to div, one div and second div, right? And then here we have to put the, okay, so here you have three div, first div, and just copy and just class name and width 20, height 10, and the bg is, I'm gonna put our customized theme. So let's that is bg, and a rounded large, that is, so I name it just box 1 3. So if you look at the UI, then you can see this way, right? So 1 2 3, right? But if you put here, so this is the parent of these three element, right? So here you have to put class, and then you have to flex. You have to flex and you have to put gap. Now if you look at the UI, see, right? Now it's become white. Now it's become black. So it's work. And now we have right side. So this is our left side. And we have also right. And even we can put header like this, but we have another div. That we call right. Okay, so like let's call 4 and let's class name because it's gonna be circle, so 12, height 12, rounded full, and bg background bg, and let's see. Now you can see here why. So here you have to put flex the header. So here you have to put the, this is a class and this is a flex. Now if you look at now, right, and you have to put the justify the justify between and item centered, and you have to put the px margin, that is 6, and py, that is 4. Now this is a 4. Right? And now so for our working. And the second part is, and even if you want, we can use not justify between, we can use justify, let's see, justify evenly, or let's say, no, justify between is okay. So guys, you have to try this way, then you can understand. And then, so yeah, so just this is just structure, just to understand structure. So yeah, we already create this one, and now we have this is the second part. So we have two things, just we use a div, and then we have to make it column. But here we didn't put anything, but we have to put something. Let me create this one. So this is the top header, and this is another one, and we have these two things. So this is the first div, and this is a, like, yeah, here you can call aside, not div. So let's say aside, and then we call main. Aside, let's class with 64, and let's say background, let's put some new background like this one, so you can understand. And the padding is 4. Yeah, it's good. And then main, we have, so guys, what I'm gonna do, just I'm gonna copy, because it takes a lot of time to write code, but I don't waste your time just typing code. So what I'm gonna do, 6 and 4, let's copy the entire, not entire, and this is a div. And now we're gonna, but here we have to change the background. I'm gonna change bg. No, it's gonna be bg. Here we have also white, let's change, and then call bg. So yeah, this is the things we are just grabbing, but set of sex in white, and it doesn't matter, right? And so now we have to redesign our stuff. Like the color is working, right? But yeah, everything is working now. But on dark, we are not seeing any deep, because we have to put then this type of things. And let's say we have, okay, so let's say we have text, right? We have text, so here we have to put text. I have to put text, let's see, so not, so if you put 1 2 3 4, then you can see 1 to 4, right? And I hope that makes sense. Or even like if you want, so you can change the color, the background. So I want you to play with this code, and you can add complex, and yeah, more complex, and even you can customize the responsiveness. You can add the max width, the min width, the max height, the min height, all the concepts so far we learn. I want you to add on this UI structure. Right, this is your task. If you practice on it, you can progress. All right. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. So yeah, so this is a section. Just here we are just building the common UI layout, right? And I hope that makes sense so far. All right, everyone. Now it's time to deploy our project into Vercel. So before deploying, I want to say something, that is, I just repolish my UI. So if you check my UI now, I just add five components, that is theme, and now every it's a like you can see now UI, right? And so, and the remaining code, and I want you to convert that remaining part. So this is just what we learn so far. I just combine, okay, because if you practice all this stuff, I hope you can create a very good UI, okay. And so let's initialize our project into GitHub. So and that the GitHub link will be on the description, so you can get it, right? Tailwind, and then let's go and create a new repo, and I call Tailwind masterclass, and yeah, then I yeah, so this is a public, and yeah, so let's initialize, so git and git init, right? And then and now I have to track all the files. So and git git and then add dot, which means track all the file. So and then first commit, and I have to change the branch. So yeah, so I just convert branch. You can this is the main branch, and then just connect this URL with VS Code, and so it's already exists, and then push. And now all the code has been pushed to GitHub, right? And I want to say something. Just I add this Vercel JSON because we are going to deploy this project into Vercel. So you have to deploy, because every service provide their own file. Otherwise, you cannot change the URL, right? URL path. Because right now, what we are doing inside a local host. But if you deploy the Vercel, so your environment change from a local to deployed, right? So just to keep in that mind. And so let's go. All right. Okay. So go to Vercel, and I already have, and just you can search vercel.com, and like I already have deployed a lot of project, and let's create a new one. And so yeah, this is our new project. Just import, and so I think there is no other file, so these are two are your main, and we don't have any variable, so just deploy it. And now and deploying is going on, and build logs. The project has been deployed. So this is the URL. Okay, this is the URL, and guys, this is a one line, it's not localhost, right? Everything is working good, right? So this is the deployment, and I hope guys so far this masterclass help you. And again, I'm saying again, I want you to practice more and more. The more you practice, the better understanding you get. And so for now, thank you so much.